Yes. All right, everybody, if I could have your attention, please. Clap once if you can hear me. Clap twice if you can hear me. Clap 3 times if you care about clean water. Awesome. Welcome to the Iowa Rivers Revival Service Squad Kickoff. I really appreciate everybody being here today. I want to start off with recognizing a super volunteer from Easter Lake. Would Sherry please stand up? Sherry over here. I want everybody to recognize and give Sherry a round of applause. Let me tell you why. Sherry, 5 to 7 days per week, is out picking up trash for 2 to 3 hours every single day. She has personally picked up thousands of pounds of trash. That is the kind of dedication and stewardship that we want to recognize and elevate, and I am just beyond humbled and impressed to be in her presence. So, thank you so much for the work that she is doing. I want to thank our sponsors, first and foremost, and our partners, Polk County, for genuinely providing transformational investment, helping us lead the way to work on water quality and clean water issues. Can we have a big round of applause for Polk County, please? I also want to recognize RDG Planning and Design for sponsoring the Service Squad program. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate, yes, RDG, let's hear it for RDG. Specifically, I want to recognize Will. Will's over here, he's going to wave. Will has been incredible. Thank you so much for your help. Okay, so here is our agenda for today. So I'm going to quickly ask all of the folks who are from a member organization of our coalition, if you're not already standing, to please stand. If you're already standing, please wave your hand. Raise your hand if you're with a coalition organization. I just want to recognize also over here on the wall, you can see the 27 plus coalition organizations. Just too many to list off here. I just want to say a huge thank you. This is all about collaboration and building partnerships, and there's already been some incredibly transformational things that have happened. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. We're going to have Stacy Williams, the board chair for Iowa Rivers Revival, come up. She's going to introduce John, our featured speaker for tonight. And then after that, we're going to hear from Ryan Crane, Polk County Conservation, and then Nate Hugavine with the DNR. And then finally, you'll hear from me again, more about the river cleanups, how you can sign up, how you can get involved, educate, get engaged, and advocate for clean water. Can we give it up for clean water, please? I'd like to welcome the chair of the board for Iowa Rivers Revival, Stacy Williams. Stacy, thank you so much for your dedication and leadership. She's going to make her way around here to the podium. Really appreciate everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This is incredible. Let's hear it for Stacy.
Hello. First of all, thank you all so much for being here this evening. The work that we do would not be possible with all of the incredible members and supporters of the organization, as well as all the other fantastic folks out there doing good work and organizations doing good work. So thank you so much. And we also have several members of the IRR board here today, so I'd like to also thank them for their tireless work in helping to move the organization forward. And then quickly, Luke and Riley, family who really did the lion's share of work to move this event forward and the organization. So I just want to do say a quick thank you to everyone that I just listed. So with a quick round of applause. And then for the reason why we are all here tonight, we want to thank Polk County for their leadership in really helping to be at the forefront of efforts to move water quality, flood resiliency, and water recreation forward, not only in the county, but in the state. So we really appreciate their leadership through both Polk County Conservation as well as the county. So thank you for your leadership. And then the reason why we're here tonight, thank you so much for your support of the Service Squad program. Of course, this is one piece in efforts to get people out on our waterways, caring about them, and furthering efforts to protect and restore and enjoy them. So without further ado, I'm here to want to welcome John Norris, County Administrator for Polk County, and a real champion of the Service Squad and this effort. He did want me to say that this is going to be interactive. He has a couple of trivia questions for you all, so be prepared. But without further ado, John Norris.
Thank you, Stacy. Wow, what a crowd. I mean, this just fuels my optimism, especially in light of everything that's happening about a mile to our east. That so many of you turned up concerned about water quality, and this is what it's going to take to move this issue forward in this state. Before I get into some comments and your pop quiz questions, let me first, Chairman Tom Hawkinsmith of the Polk County Board of Supervisors could not be here tonight, but he asked me to share a statement with you first. And this is from Tom. I'm encouraged by the spirit and determination of everyday Iowans who are willing to show up and do something to secure clean, useful waterways. Our rivers and streams are our treasure, and we know that this is an important opportunity to talk about how water quality impacts all of us. We are proud to award the Iowa River Revival this grant so we can work to improve water quality in a strategic and meaningful way. So let me just say that the Board of Supervisors voted unanimously for this project for Iowa River Revivals to do the water and river cleanups, and you have full support of your county government in this effort. So thank you to everyone engaged with Iowa River Revivals, Luke Hoffman, the director, for your leadership, and Stacy, and all of the coalition partners for being a part of this. This is going to take all of us, not just for your projects you're working on, but to move the issue of water quality forward in our state. So, okay, it's time for a few pop quiz questions. So here's the first. I should have thought of a prize for y'all, but I might buy you a beer if you want. Okay, first one is, why are we here? Now, I don't mean, we know you're here at Big Grove for this IR event, and we know we're here in Des Moines because that's where Big Grove is. Why is Des Moines here? Exactly. Because this is the confluence of the Des Moines and Raccoon Rivers. In 1834, the Fort Des Moines military post was established here because of the importance of water. To this day, these two rivers and their tributaries play a significant role in our local economy, our culture, our recreation, and the overall identity of our community. They lie at the heart of our capital city and provide a beautiful setting for parks, businesses, and residential areas. So we are here because of these rivers. Second question. That was too easy. I had several right answers. How many people depend on these rivers for their primary source of drinking water? Oh, about 562,000. Could you get a little more precise, Christine? Exactly right. Over 500,000 people depend on what flows in those waters to ingest in our bodies, our drinking water. All right, third question. Where is the most popular fishing location in the state of Iowa? Okay, new participant. I'm going to get you drunk if you keep answering these questions like this. No, anybody else? Yeah. The most popular fishing location in the state of Iowa is the Scott Avenue Bridge at the confluence of the Raccoon and Des Moines rivers. All right, so you did pretty well. There was some softballs for you there, but and also there's plans underway to invest $120 million for a network of water trails and water recreation opportunities throughout central Iowa that will bring thousands of people here to participate in our water. I can't overstate the importance of what you're doing and what we're doing to try and protect these rivers and our water quality. And that's why Polk County chose to invest one of their priority areas of investment for the American Recovery Plan on water quality. We are investing over $12 million from the county in water quality projects in Polk County. So that includes the IR's cleanup and events, and you're engaging citizens in learning about our water, raising awareness, and this is the critical one for me. You are empowering advocates for policymakers to clean up and protect our water. The more people know about this, the more they're educated, the more that four-letter word is important. It's called data. And the more people know it, understand it, will advocate for it, the more we can hold policymakers accountable. So thank you. First of all, we had a working group on our water quality projects that went through and looked at many different ways we could have an impact on water quality in Polk County. And they identified, I'll just go through a few of the projects with you. The wetlands restoration, what we call our batch and bundle program, is happening throughout the county, especially a huge project in East Polk County. The saturated buffers that Jonathan Swanson leads for Polk County, and the wetlands restoration. The Walnut Creek Basin. We invested in a cover crop seeder with Des Moines Waterworks and the city of Des Moines and IDALS to try and make it easier for farmers to participate and get more successfully seed cover crops. We're working with the city of Des Moines to establish some areas for the Sustainable Iowa Land Trust, or SILT, to create opportunities for local farmers, for local foods, and who will pay attention to soil health. We are doing outreach to farmland owners upstream so that they become more aware of soil health, and what they put on their land affects the quality of their soil and what flows down our streams. Because as we do all these local projects that treat the problem, we won't answer this problem until we stop creating it. And that's what makes me most excited about this last project I wanted to tell you a little bit about. Like I said, it's the one I'm most excited about. We have commissioned a Central Iowa Source Water Resource Assessment. You'll probably get familiar with the acronym CISRA. And you'll be hearing more about this. But in your river and stream cleanup, you'll be gathering up tires and bottles and who knows, heaven knows what else you're going to find in those rivers, right? But what I'm guessing is you're not going to be taking out of those rivers nitrates, phosphorus, that pesky thing, E. coli. If you can get folks recruited to gather those, we'll up your grant, Luke. But that's what CISRA is about. It's convening an advisory panel of top soil and water researchers from our respected academic institutions in this state to assess existing analysis, reports, data, and peer-reviewed studies about the quality of source water in the Raccoon and Des Moines rivers. This team will produce a report summarizing and synthesizing the findings of existing and pertinent emerging research about source water quality in the rivers, and then identify gaps in research with recommendations for further investigation. It will conclude with the issuance of 3 publications: the final scientific assessment of source water, the research. It will conclude with a white paper that outlines clear recommendations for a pathway for improved source water quality in the Raccoon and Des Moines rivers, and will include a call to action for public and private engagement. I think Jen's still here, and Ted, I owe you a beer. I'm surprised you hadn't hit me up yet, but Jen Terry has come over from Des Moines Water Works to lead that project for Polk County. You'll be hearing a lot about that over the next 2 years. So from scientists to fishermen to kids in kayaks and canoes, we can and we will clean up our water. Yes. It is an incredible resource, clear back to where we established where we live today. But it's also a life-sustaining resource. And that's what we have to, with your advocacy, we have to get this state to realize. And it's going to take us, and it's going to take more of us to grow exponentially. Probably even a few more times exponentially, given the crowd to the east of us. But that's how we're going to have to affect this if we're going to not just clean it up, but prevent it from happening. And that's having people mobilized to advocate and vote on this issue. So, it is critical for life-sustaining, for our future. It's also critical for brewing good beer. And so I think it's time for me to have another one of those now. And thank you all very much for what you've done and what you're going to do for water quality for this state and this county.
Awesome. Another round of applause for Administrator Norris and Polk County for leading the way. Thank you so much. Polk County, you're making transformational, once-in-a-lifetime investments. This is incredible to be able to partner like this. This is definitely the most grateful I've ever felt to a partner in working in this industry. So I really just appreciate the leadership. I want to bring up next Ryan Crane from Polk County Conservation. Ryan is the immediate past president of Polk County Conservation Board and has been somebody who's been really involved in making sure that the bond effort that was recently passed with 81.3% of the vote in Polk County was successful, and that we execute with precision and excellence. So Ryan, come on up here and talk about that.
Hard to follow John Norris for much of anything, so grateful to him and his leadership. And for everybody in the room tonight who cares so deeply and so passionately about these issues. As Luke mentioned, the bond referendum, which we take for granted perhaps now, even though it was a recent thing that happened, $65 million. And a big chunk of that goes to improved water quality. In fact, when we were doing the polling for it, yes, of course, recreation, everybody wants to kayak, and we love Icon and everything, but water quality was like sneaky number 1 or number 2 every time when we were polling on this issue. So everybody in the room, and I know that everybody in the room cared and voted and advocated and rallied and got enough to get across the finish line. We are focused at Polk County on our partnership, Icon, the great Outdoors Foundation, water trail amenities, Easter Lake, West Des Moines, really the whole metro. Very excited about that. Cleanup and mitigation, which John mentioned, 4 Mile Greenway and 4 Mile Creek. And then it is the water quality monitoring. We are going to have, ready? This really, John stole a lot of the talking points on this, but the water quality, we're going to have some of the best tracking and the best data and the best ways to monitor 365, and that combination that he spoke about. 75 sites just in Polk County that are going to be monitored, nearly constantly. 75 sites, and we have the active data that we've been collecting from some of these 75 sites already, going on 7 to 8 years with the partnerships and the coalitions that we already have, and we're going to expand those. And it really is just incredible. Unfortunately, we have a lot of work to do, the nitrates, the E. coli, but the fact that we're doing this with not just Polk County Conservation staff, but like he said, the subject matter experts. I mean, this is huge. And I guess I get to humble brag on, we have staff that just grind this, day in, day out. It's all they think about, in Polk County. They think about wetland restoration. They think about water quality monitoring. They think about the agronomy and the water science behind all this. It's just really incredible. Indicator species, this time of year in spring. And really, we have some of the best subject matter experts that are putting their brains and their careers and their subject matter expertise to this. So really, on behalf of the volunteer board members, of which I'm one for Polk County Conservation, and the whole staff at Polk County, just very proud of the work that we're undertaking to clean up some of these waterways. It is incumbent on us, like John said, it's may not be coming from statewide leadership. It may be up to local leadership to clean up our waterways, and we're working darn hard to do it. So thank you.
Yeah, this is what collaboration looks like. This is what leadership looks like. I want to give a big shout out to Big Grove for their amazing wings, pizza, and beer tonight. Really excited to have them here in a second location in Des Moines. I know this is one of my new favorite places to come. Next, I want to bring up Nate Hugavine with the DNR. Really quickly, the DNR is also funding this program, so they are providing matching funds. Nate is also going to talk about the Keep It Clean program at the DNR. Welcome, Nate.
So let me break this down a little bit. Are rivers cool? Do you like rivers? Yeah, and for my whole life, rivers have been amazing. Like they've affected my family. It's been stuff I've did with my kids, and just looking around this room, there's people like you, Nathan. There's people like you, Cindy. There's people all across here who have stood up for rivers. And the reason we do this is because the second we get out there, we are in love. Our minds change, and we have this like instantaneous thing where we're not at the workplace, we're just there. How many times do you get that in life, really? Like, think about it. Like, how many times do you get that in Iowa, specifically? And so the work that we're doing here is really important. It's really important not just for water quality, not just for like seeing clear water. It's also about mental health. It's about we need this. Like we need these rivers to be places that we can engage with and really truly enjoy. So I am so happy that the DNR can be a part of this overall, this event specifically, but also supporting the long range goals of this project. And Luke told me to keep it short, so I will. But thank you all for coming, and I appreciate each and every one of you for showing up. Thank you.
For those of you who don't know, Nate Hugavine is one of the original co-founders of Iowa Rivers Revival, and we are forever indebted to his leadership. He's also written a book called Paddling Iowa, right? I would check it out. Just really appreciate Nate's continued leadership just across many, many decades at this point. And we are forever indebted to his leadership, paving the way for us to really think about water trails in the ways that he's talking about. That brings us to kind of the conclusion of the program. I want to tell you a little bit more about my personal story as we begin to wrap up here, and you can go back to having wings and pizza and beer, or you're probably having beer still, which is great. I grew up in a small town called Thurman, Iowa. Thurman is in Fremont County, population at the time 320 people. I think population now probably 250 something after several tornadoes and floods. Really small town. There was a gas station, a bank, and a post office, and the bank and the gas station closed down. So all my sister and I had to do was really just fight each other about who could check the mail that day and see if some books had arrived, hopefully. So we had something to do. Other than that, we played outdoors, and I had this dog, Molly, and Molly and I would go on adventures, and we would follow the river until it got dark, and that's how I knew I had to come home. And every day we would try to follow that stream a little bit further, a little bit further, and a little bit further. And it's that sense that Nate is talking about that sense of adventure. And I think that sense of adventure is so much more powerful than the emotion of fear, and I think it's so much more motivating. I think it's something that it's very underappreciated. And I think that is what brought us here today, an appreciation for what the outdoors can do, for what conserving those natural spaces and natural resources can mean to a community, and how it can connect people to water in a real and meaningful way that builds community, restores our rivers, protects our streams, provides clean water. That's what community looks like. That's what we're fighting for. That's why I'm asking you to join us. Go to our website, iowariversorg/squad. Sign up for a river cleanup today. And I really appreciate all of you being here. Thank you.